Hey folks, this is Noble Rambler, and welcome to another episode of our Let's Play of Farming Simulator 15, where we're exploring this new map of... oh, I forget the name already. Is it here? Sosnovka. There's just no way to pronounce that without sounding Russian. Sosnovka. So, let's see. We want to jump in and harvest this field, just to see how that works. You can tab your way over there, or you can just go old school and get on your legs and walk over. So what's this cab look like? Computer operated. Got a joystick with all kinds of controls for a gear shift. There's your gear shift. So that must control all of the attachments. And more controls on your steering wheel, and look out the back. Let's try to remember that. Watch it as it's filling up. So here's where the F1 really helps. Eventually you get this memorized, but we'll jump out here so we can see it all happen. First thing you want to do is unfold your harvester. I wonder what that did from in here. Let's see, that was X. Aha! All the equipment is full of moving parts that are automated in this game. So, C. Now we want to attach our, what you call the front attachment there. So that is Q. Alright, we've got that. So as we fill up, we can hit O and dump into a trailer. Disable straw swath. So as you're harvesting, you can either dump all of the straw down below while the seed gets tossed up inside, and then come back later with a with your, oh, I've forgotten all the names of the equipment now. Basically, to row it, and then come back with your baler, bale it, and then a trailer that picks up the bales, and then haul it off to some hay storage somewhere. We're not going to have the money that's needed to do all of that, so we'll go ahead and just have it shred up the straw. So disable straw swath. I think that's going to just shred it into dust and leave it on the ground. So otherwise, turn on the harvesters, B. And that's it. So we can either, now I'm trying to remember if this will automatically stop at a certain, yeah, it will. So I'm going full speed, and it knows that it can only handle 6 miles an hour. So you can see it's pulverizing the straw and tossing it out. We can switch back to leaving a straw trail, and you can come back and actually, there it is. You can pick it up and bale it, or you can pick it up into a loader and drop it off and sell it as just loose straw. Either way, see, you can see it dumping grain into your storage reservoir here. We'll drive it from the inside for a little while. Now, what was it? V? C? B? There it is. You can either do that each time and then start it up again, or I just let it run when I'm doing it. I do? I hit the E, didn't I? It didn't like that. Alright, B. Now another thing that you can do here is hit the H, and it will hire a worker. So essentially it will run on autopilot. That'll be a hired worker in there, so that you're free to head over to another tractor and grab your trailer. Where am I? There we go. We're going to hear a lot of the noises of the mouse. There's lot of mouse work to do in this game. So you hear lots of thumping and poundings in the background. Where am I? There I am. And over here, grab our trailer, hit Q, it will attach. And let's head out there and run alongside that harvester. Now, I don't know how much storage it has, how much capacity it has. So it'll go on a field this small, probably several rounds. That's right, we forgot to turn the straw back off, but that'll be fine. We'll just till it all under. But as we come up alongside, it should kick the loading tube up. Now, I don't quite know how. I've never had a trailer with a cover on it. N for open cover. There we go. There it is. Try and keep up with it here. If we get alongside here when it hits the end, it will stop and load us. Nope. Oops. There we go. Trying to remember how the cruise control worked. Let's experiment a bit. It has to do with the 1, 2, 3, 4 keys. Don't hit me. You hit me. Those hired workers, I tell you. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see how this works. So if I hold the 1 down, there, the 1 drops our cruise control down. He was running at 6 miles an hour. So 3 turns it off, 3 turns it back on. 1 and 2 is your up and down on your cruise control. I don't remember what 4 does. If you just hit the W, it will override it and take off. Now as you get more grain in there, it's going to get heavier and it's going to react. The tractor is rated in horsepower, and let me turn this F1 off. So the smaller the tractor is, the more difficulty it has getting up a steep hill. The more grain you have, the more weight you have, the even more difficulty it has. So let's swing in over here. And again, this is real jerky because I don't have the steering wheel hooked up to the computer. Alright, so if we get up here and hit the 3, it will maintain 6 miles an hour. And that's a little bit fast, so we'll hit the 1. Slow us down to, now that evened us out. Maybe it was like 6.5, and now it's 6. We do have to steer our way, keep us straight here. That's how you can interact with it without having to play multiplayer. By having the game automatically hire some help. There's enough time for you to pull past at that 6 miles an hour and still give him room to do what he needs to do. Now, normally when I'm playing this, I will park this tractor here. Oops. Nope. Go! Alright. I'll park this here, let him take 2 or 3 passes through there and fill up while I'm over here grabbing this guy. Let's see, let's hook this up, drive this over, and we'll hire some help to be running this one. In other words, you can be moving around and amongst several vehicles at once. In a far more complicated task this way. Alright, hit the hire, and we're going to hire the help to go through and till this one up. He'll get it all ready for replanting. Tab again. Back in this vehicle, while those are running, we'll head over there and fill up the grain again. Now, I see a symbol of what I assume is wheat over in the bottom right corner. So that tells you what we're actually loading into this trailer. Okay, so let's come up alongside, hit the 3, and we'll lock in our speed. And let's hit the W a little bit and get up there. Now 3. Zoom out a little bit. There we go. So when you've got 10 fields to your name and 2 of them are harvesting at the same time, you can hire out all these harvesters and all the other vehicles that are part of the process. Jump in one tractor, quickly unload him, tab over to the other tractor that's running in a field way over there, get up to catch up to that harvester, unload him, then get back over here and run this one. You can be doing several of these simultaneously. Let's see if we can remember where our silos are. Right over there. Let's go dump this off just to show how that works. Road is empty. Whoops. Ran through that sign. Menu back on. I think it's Q that's going to let us dump. There it is, Q for unload. Dumps into there, and the machinery is automatically dumping it into the wheat silo. Head back over here. Actually, we have a little bit of time. You can head right here. A little gas symbol just showed up in the bottom right corner of the screen there. So if refuel is R, so we can add some more fuel in. We're only down by 2 liters, so it didn't really show much. Then, oh, actually it was right there. Let me go forward a little bit. Just drove past it. You can head under here. Let's show how this works. So if you need to take grain to the market, start filling is R. Doesn't say, but O was to choose what you wanted, right? Huh. Change tool, close cover, start filling. Maybe we have to choose to start filling first, and then it'll ask us what we want to fill with. There, that's how it works. Okay. So what do we want to fill with? So we'll go back to wheat and start. Now it's filling up, and it'll fill as long as you're under there. So if you only want a partial load, it'll automatically stop. So that's basically what we had in there when we pulled in the first time. But let's go and unload that harvester. How are we doing here? See how much we have tilled up and ready for the next load here. I think we'll let the harvester finish this row, and then we'll come up on them on this side. Now, of course, in real life, you wouldn't be driving through the wheat like that, but this game is pretty forgiving. So we'll let him make his turn, see if he can run into us again. Zoom in here. In fact, let's look at it this way. It comes in stereo. Got out my right speakers, out my left. Okay. I think I'd want to do this part of the job from the cab view. It'd be pretty difficult. Okay, so speed it up, and 3. Now, can I guide over? See, on the Westbridge map, the American map, you would be going to that second tree way out there. The fields are huge compared to these fields. And the game will allow you to combine fields. So you can get a plow and actually carve up this road and make this field connect to that field if you want to. So you can pretty much customize terraform the map. Not stuck to the limits that they've created. Though it is nice to have these limits already made. Okay, let's go and dump off this load for real this time. So our best path, I guess, is out here. It'd be nice to do this without having to interact with the road. Now, just by letting off the W, never hit the shift, you could feel there was a lot of weight behind the tractor this time. It didn't coast to a stop real quick, but it's coasting quite a ways with all the extra grain weight pushing you. So head up into here, hit Q. Whoa! Yeah, it's hard to make this thing stop. So it does a pretty good job of simulating the physics of the extra weight. Wish we had one more tractor. Normally you'd have a third one right now, and it would be running your seeder, so you can get a. In fact, let's do that. Well, I don't remember which button it was. Can we figure that out? If I hit pause, nope, that doesn't let us do. Or right here? Nope, it doesn't let us get into what the keys are. That's unfortunate. You got to get out of the game to do that. So let me stare at this keyboard for a moment and think about this. Insert was your bank. Delete didn't do anything. P for shop. Maybe that meant something in the language this game was created in. I think this is Scandinavian or maybe German. I don't remember what country this company, Giant, is from. Anyway, I'm hoping the game is paused in the background. I want to get just an inexpensive tractor. So to do that, we need money. But let's see what kind of money we're looking for. So 37 buys our cheapest one, except for there are some more added at the end, which are not in order here. So 52, 58, 98, 136. Okay. Realistically, you want to save up and get something like this. But actually, this is a pretty good starter tractor right here. But for what we're talking about doing, I'd say this guy right here would be fine. Just so that it's possible to do this time around without having to go off and sell all of our grains to try to make enough money to do it right. So we need another $37,000. So back and back. Insert. Let's borrow until we've got let's go 50,000. It gives us a little bit of cushion. We've got to pay off wages for what we're hiring. We've got to pay off the vehicle maintenance and anything else that pops up that we aren't thinking about. So hit the OK. Now we could realistically, or make it more realistic, we could drive out to the store and buy this stuff. Categories and brands and category of mods. So this is a very moddable game. There are a lot of mods that are made for the game. I don't see it here. My other map, I had a pickup truck, so you drive that around town and it would go so much faster than the tractors. Sales. Select. No vehicles are on sale today, so there will be sales. All right, let's try that one. No, and they're announced through your. Let's see. Are they announced here? I think they'll just pop up on the screen, if I remember correctly. Anyway, tractor. Select. I wonder, can I double click on tractor? Yeah. So double click on tractor. We'll double click on this one. You can fetch your purchase at the store, or you can, let's see, is it I? And go to your equipment, vehicle selection, tractors. Okay, so that's our first tractor. Reset vehicle or enter vehicle. So I can click on it and I'll show up at the store inside the vehicle, or I can reset it and it'll show up on our farm as if it were delivered. You really want to reset it, and that's a valid question because it will grab the tractor but not necessarily everything attached to the tractor. So in fact, that is something that I forgot, but let's hit the yes. It was reset to your farm. We still need a weight for it. we're going to put the seeding machine on the back, and that's going to pop the front end up. So we're going to need a weight to counterbalance that. So let's hit the OK. Oh, it reset all the vehicles. I meant to reset that one. Wow. Okay. Let's try that again. So, grab this guy and that's interesting. It reset it over here and all the grain that was in it. Okay, well now you know what not to do. Like a lot of my Let's Plays are basically letting you know what not to do, huh? So let's go empty out. No, let's not. I'll show you what happens when he runs out of room. Let's continue what we were doing. Let's tab over to our new tractor. This is what I wanted reset and it didn't happen. So how do I get out of here? This is a glass window, right? No, it's not. It's a door. Okay. Well, I guess we need to drive quickly back to the farm. We did this last episode. I believe it is down that direction. So we'll do this the old-fashioned way. 9 is our map. We are heading the right direction. Got to get over the river first. So, concrete embankments here. I don't know what that is over there. It spills it into that other embankment behind there. I'll have to explore that one of these times. Anyway, down to our map. Our field that's being worked on is off to the left. Cattle, I believe, will be in this enclosure here. In fact, we never did walk through there, did we? Let's drive through there real quick. So cattle, you can see kind of a fence right here. When you buy cattle, they'll show up on this side. You'll fill this trough with food, with grass clippings and, well, kind of hard to explain silage. We'll do that when we get to that point. There's an automatic milking machine over there, the blue. The cows will walk through and it'll bring some suction tubes over and pump out the milk, and then a milk truck will show up on a schedule and pump the milk out of your barn there. Anyway, let's head back over, grab the seed. No, first of all, let's grab that weight that I purposely didn't hook up to the tractor. Normally you would want to, but for the trailer, but I went ahead and left it off so we can use it for this one. So Q, there we go. Now let's go grab the seed. Eventually this bay here is going to be full of wood chips, but we can still drive through now. This is the seeder. It's probably a more technical name to it than cultivator? I'm not sure. I'll call it the seeder for now. Here's where it helps to know how to use trailers, and it's very realistic on your backing up. Okay, Q, hook that up. When you've got trailers, you do have to do it just like in real life, just like backing up a semi-truck or a truck and trailer. You've got to turn right to go left and left to go right, and you've got to be careful not to jackknife it. But what I wanted to show you was that while he is cultivating or tilling up the ground for you, this guy, you can hire this one out. No, you can't. We need to buy some seed. Let's go buy some seed. We've got an empty seeder here. I'm sure it would have flashed an angry message at me there. Hopefully it would have. It wouldn't have just hired him to go and plant nothing. Okay, so let's see, F1. Here we go. Lower the sower. So they call this a sower. That's the magic word. R for refill, O to select which seed. So O, you see the little symbol down there, there's barley. I'm thinking that's canola. That might be grass, and that's wheat. So you can plant grass as well. So if you want to grass out a field so that you can be clipping that to make the grass clippings for the biogas facility. Anyway, so we want the wheat, and we want to hit R, and it's going to fill up, and you'll see the money depleting out of your balance up there. So you're actually buying this seed. Alright, we're full. So we've got V for lower, G for change tool. So G will choose between the weight in the front or the sower in the back. H hires a worker. B turns on the sower. So this is a motorized sower. X folds the sower. So what does X do? I see. So I believe it will put a mark in the ground down there to mark your rows for you, to help you keep things going straight. But we're going to hire this out anyway. But we'll tell you what, we'll start it ourselves just so we can see the process. So V will lower it, B will turn it on. Hear the extra little motor there now. Off, on. And then I believe we just start driving. And it is dropping seed. So H, I like to hire this out because the computer does a far better job, the AI, of giving you straight rows. I have the hardest time because the tractor interacts with the elevations and the ground. So if you're driving on slight hills or slopes, it will start to veer you off to one side or the other. So it's hard to maintain straight rows on your own. You've got to really be active and notice what's going on. Meanwhile, this guy is still right here. What is this called? G doesn't tell you. I want to say a cultivator. P, cultivator. Okay, so a cultivator. A windrower is what you would use to bring your straw into tight little rows that you can then, where's the baler? Bale it. And then baling technology, you then pick up a machine like this which will grab the bales off the ground and load them up for you. Or you can get a front loader with a hay hook and then load it directly onto a trailer yourself. But cultivator was the word I was looking for. So we've hired out the cultivator. He's tilling the hay, the straw, right back in and getting it ready to seed. But this guy, and actually, I'm looking back at this, I'm thinking this may, let's see here, let's unhire him. And out of curiosity, oh, I'm wrong guy. You pause there. This one. Will this thing, let's find out. Unhire. V. No, V again. Pop that up in the air. Okay. Can I run this through an area that has not been cultivated? I don't think I can. But I'm curious. So V, and is it running? Now it's running. If I run forward, what happens? It makes lots of dust, but it's not dropping seed. Okay, so we do have to run this guy before we can run this guy. Just wanted to verify that. Okay, V picks him up. Let's get back to where we were. Just a little experimenting. Now, we did finish a row. Okay, so let's aim ourselves about like that. Forward and H. There he goes. Alright, so let's get him going again. So I disrupted his route here. Each of these tools will run at a different speed. The harvester needs 6 miles an hour to do its job effectively. The cultivator can run at, looks like, 10 miles an hour. Maybe even a little more. Okay. This guy runs a lot slower, if I recall. Yeah, we're going... Well, let's actually drop the machine and see what he does. I'm thinking it was 6 miles an hour, same as the... Well, he got up to 8. So that's important to know. I missed a little bit there, didn't I? Didn't aim it right. That you want to keep track of the different speeds, because you'll find your sower catching up to your cultivator sometimes, and you got to stop him and make him calm down and wait for a while. Alright, back over to the harvester, who is no longer on hired mode, so you're going to have to manually pop the pipe out. We'll grab the trailer. So I see we've got 4,740 units of grain. I don't know if that's pounds or gallons or liters. It doesn't really say. And we'll grab our tractor with trailer, head over and load up this the grain out of the harvester. He's going to load up. Don't know what that quantity is. Okay, it was 4,700, 4,600. So we're at 4,000 now. So it is consistent. So 4,740 was in there, and that's equal to maybe a quarter of a trailer. So I'm thinking we probably could have hauled the entire field out of this one trailer. To give you a comparison, in the Westbridge Hills, is that what the American map is called? I'll run 3 trailers all hooked to each other. You got to zoom way out here to see the last trailer. And on some of those fields, I will have to dump all 3 of them, probably close to 5 or 6 times, maybe even as much as 10 times on the biggest fields. Run them all back to the silos and dump them off and try to get back in time before the harvester is filled up again. So the fields there are huge compared to these European fields. Very different map, very different experience, very different game. So this one is a lot more micromanaging, and you can have lots of different crops and different fields and have to do hardly any driving to get from one to the other. Whereas the other one, the fields are almost so big. One of them is a big L-shaped one. I just cut a road in between, make 2 fields out of it. Let's see if we can get to our... Not really. Really do need to use the road to get around this map. Yeah. Hoping to line up with this a little better. Let's dump this off. Q. There we go. So that gives you a sense on how the game works. I think we're gonna... Well, maybe we'll call these 2 more like a let's sample rather than a let's play. I don't think I'm going to go beyond this point for now. There are too many games I want to get into. This is definitely one of them. But to adequately do a let's play on Farming Simulator is kind of like the let's play on Dungeon Siege. I mean, there really is no end in sight. There's so many fields available, lots of crops. And the challenge is to be working 10, 15 at a time. You've got hired workers running vehicles all over the map. They're coming due, ready to harvest at different hours of the day, and it really becomes quite the challenge to manage it all simultaneously. Or you plant them at just the right cycles so that everything hits in its own time. You can just sit back and relax and enjoy yourself and not be stressed out by having to do 5 fields at once. So it depends on just what kind of play you want to do. Look at that. He's been... Oh, the harvester. Is that what it was? Somebody... Is that grass missing, or was it always gone? Maybe it was never there. Maybe that's the entrance to the field. Okay. I was thinking somebody harvested the grass from the field there. But we own this field in front of us as well, so we could, as soon as this is done, just roll the equipment over and plant that one. Could also jump in here and grab, maybe I'll do that real quick. Let's go sell some grain. And we'll call this one done. So we'll pop in here. That is the fertilizer. Here's the grain. Pop in here and get a load of, well, I don't know what we'll get a load of. Right there. That looks pretty good. Let's see. And why are we not? There we are. Statistics. There. You know, I still don't know how to move around on this map. There they are. I was looking for one over on this side and there wasn't any. I didn't notice this one right here. Okay. So these will be lit up. I'm thinking green if they're on, you know, some kind of a bonus or a sale to where you can sell them for a much higher cost. So let's sell off the canola. The bakery's paying $1,050. So is the grain elevator. The mill is paying a lot less. And so is the village grain elevator. So we've got available to us the grain elevator and the bakery. Now, the bakery was not too far away. Bakery and grain elevator. Okay. Hit the OK. The 9. Where is it? That's the horn. Alright, 9. Bakery is right up there. Grain elevator is down at the bottom of the map. So we'll head for the bakery. And we want canola. So R and canola and start. Canola is black. And that's all the canola that we own. Okay, off we go to the bakery. And let's run this one from the cab. A little different experience this way. Well, it looks funny by seeing that steering wheel swinging back and forth because I'm doing it with the WASD keyboard commands. And I see that the speedometer works too, as well as your fuel. Now, one thing I wish they really would do in this game is, maybe they have, I haven't checked any message boards lately or forums. It seems to me that the water temperature should be a factor on the tractors. I mean, if you're buying the cheapest tractor and trying to make it to do the job of a big tractor, don't have the horsepower to haul it, and you're at a full rev trying to go 2 miles an hour up a hill, you should be overheating that engine. And it always bothered me that it let you just abuse these things and never have any. I went to the wrong place. That's the store. Do I have a tree here? Well, we'll cut across this way. That you should be penalized for harming or overworking a machine. But you can see the mirrors are accurate. You swing around, you can see your trailer. The machines get dirty. There is that's kind of interesting. So as you run them, they'll get dirtier and dirtier, and eventually you can buy a pressure washer and clean them up. So that's a little touch of realism they added to Farming Simulator 15 that wasn't in the 2013 version. Now the graphics are a little nicer in the 2015 or the 15, but the 2013 was a very good game. So if it comes up on Steam, the Steam sale, and it's a lot cheaper, I wouldn't hesitate to grab a 2013 and run that one. I've got several hundred hours of my Farming Simulator 2013, and I just had a ball. And the game is complete now, so you can buy it and all of the DLCs. Everything is a package for very little money. You know, the gold edition here, to get this extra map, you had to pay another $14.99. But the game, it may, well, I'm trying to think if it was on sale. It was another one that I noticed that was on sale today. But probably when we get to the winter break Steam sale, you might be able to buy the whole package for a good discount. But the 2013 was a very good game. So it's just as realistic as this, just as enjoyable. Am I at the right place yet? Yeah. So that's the bakery. So we're going to head over here. Notice that we've got $11,986 in our bank account right now. As we sell this, we're going to make some money. And it's ticking down because we've got hired help running. So that's why you're seeing the 974 dropping up there. Okay, so Q dumps us off. And 16,000, 18,000, 20,000. So we just made $8,900 by doing that. So now we could jump into the bank mode and repay some of our loan if we wish to. And that's basically how the economy of Farming Simulator works. You'll harvest, you bring in your crops, and you'll sell them and pay off your loan, and eventually you'll get into the green and you'll buy some more equipment, and better equipment, better tractors, trailers that hold a lot more. Or you could head in there and buy a couple of, a front and rear mower for this tractor and take on some of the jobs for mowing different people's fields and get some money, some income rolling in that way. It's very easy to sink a lot of hours, a whole weekend into this game and just enjoy every minute of it. It is a very relaxing, very fun game. I started playing this after I had spent so much time running Minecraft and Skyrim and quite a few other games, and I noticed that my stress levels were way up there. I mean, going through dark caves in Minecraft, knowing that around any corner could be some kind of a monster ready to kill you, and you have to fend for your life. And after a while, you notice your heart starts to beat kind of erratically. Start wondering if you need a doctor's appointment and see what's going on there. I'm going to cut over here. So I got into this game and I found that it was really enjoyable. It was relaxing, and I could just sit back, and you get quite a sense of accomplishment by building up your farming business and buying more fields and planning which crops are in demand and getting them planted in time. You've got day and night cycles in this game. You've got weather in this game. The rain will make it so you can't harvest. And you've got, I believe at least there was a weather forecast. I didn't notice that when I went through this last time. Maybe that was a 2013. Oh, here we go. So Farming Simulator 15 did continue it through. So we are today. So in 3 days we're expecting overcast, then sunny. So the crops grow better when it's sunny out. So the crops will grow much slower on an overcast day, and eventually you're going to get rain days. You got to have your harvest in by then. So it'll accurately forecast what's coming, so you can plan on when to plant and when not to. So let's get back to the farm, drop off this trailer, see how the planting went, and then we'll call this an episode. And as you see, I've got my time set on 1 for 1. Take it back up to probably 5 to 1 is a little more realistic. By now, it really should have been late afternoon. It probably would have been, or going into the evening at this point. But you see, it's still mid-morning. This is our farm. We'll take this turn here. see how we're doing over here. I'll bet you our harvester was in the way. Yep, it is in the way. So we'll hit the O to bring that in. Back up, let him finish his job. In fact, we'll just go put our harvester away. Got a pond over here. Nice. So I wonder if the horn sounds different depending on the vehicle you're in. Oh, 0 there. That's what it is. Nope, same little horn. Doesn't quite fit the tractor. Let's drive right through this bush here. And let's see. We'll use this as our garage for now. Boy, these things are big. Some of these harvesters are so wide you really can't even drive them down the main road. You actually have to detach it and put, what's this? Is that a harrow? What's the front of the harvester called? You have to mount it onto a trailer and pull it behind you because you just can't get it even down the road. This is not going to fit inside, is it? Oh, we'll leave it right there. Okay, so he's finishing up his job. Now this is the space that we missed that little row on, so it's going to stay there and plants are not going to grow in that space. But anyway, I think this has done a good job of demonstrating what is possible in the game. There's still much more to see. You haven't seen an auction yet. You haven't seen a sale for, if the equipment come up, and haven't seen the rain and what it's like at nighttime. So there's a lot more to explore in this game, but these 2 episodes of these 2 Let's Plays will definitely give you a good taste of Farming Simulator 13 or 15 as well. 2013, it's very similar. I would recommend either one, whatever fits your budget. They're both great games. So this has been Noble Rambler, and I thank you for watching. Bye bye now.